Hi fam, happy Monday, March 20th, 2023. It's 10 o'clock at night. I know, what am I still doing awake? I don't know, but just had to do this podcast, so here we are. Few things I wanted to discuss right now. Number one, dairy and common knowledge. Oh my lord. Habits when you travel, might get into that. We'll see how much time there is, and my anaphylaxis story. So, I had an episode. Okay, we're gonna start with dairy because I was just having a conversation and I'm honestly appalled at the fact that it's that some people don't have the common knowledge and how dairy affects your body. I was just ranting in my head. I didn't want to bring a rant here, but it was like, I'm done having this conversation. I don't want to have to be the person to like convince someone that dairy's not healthy for you. Like it doesn't help. It doesn't make sense that we're the only animal that eats another animal's dairy, and also the only one that drinks it after your growing stages. Anyways, I changed the conversation because it was like I've had this conversation so many times throughout my life and I couldn't be bothered anymore, but I thought I'll just share it with the masses here, / however many people listen to this, but at least it's there for the future and you can hear me say it. Number one, dairy is in so many more things than just milk. Like, okay, so basically this conversation... Sorry if you're listening to this. No, I'm just kidding. It's all good. I'm just sharing so everyone else can hear as well. So many times throughout my life, they're like, oh, especially when I was a nutritionist or a personal trainer, and I'd get everyone to track their food, do a food log. And they go, I don't drink, I don't have dairy. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So what do you eat? Well, so I have yogurt and granola, and then I have a smoothie with whey protein, if they even have that. That's kind of a stretch for a beginner, but anyways. So okay, yogurt, dairy. If you have bread and butter or banana bread or muffins or stuff where there's dairy in it, whey protein, dairy in it, cheese, oh, dairy's in cheese. Like it's ridiculous how this, I don't understand. I guess I went to nutrition school and so I learned, and my mom always educated me growing up. Like I was very educated about health. If you know my family, it was just a health freak family. But I thank my lucky stars now because, my God, I don't know how some people are getting by without this knowledge. It's just ridiculous. Or I had one client once who didn't realize that drinks had calories. Right? It was, what are all the things? Oh, well, I didn't count my calories in the drinks. It's like, well, if you're drinking, you're getting basically the same amount of, drinking alcohol, getting the same amount of calories as you are in your diet. So no wonder it's hard to lose weight or something like that. Anyway, so it was just really bothered me about this dairy thing because it was like, I'm just trying to help you not have a sore throat. So just don't have dairy. I'm not saying it causes a sore throat. I'm saying dairy is a growth hormone. So if you have bad bacteria in your throat and you have dairy, it will grow that bacteria that is not serving you. I don't know, it just makes sense in my mind. Anyways, that was that. Just educate yourself, you guys. Take care of your health. If you're not healthy, that's on you. That's on you. Even if, bold statement here, but even if you have diseases or whatever it is, okay, I believe, well, not even, but whatever, have your reasons, but that doesn't mean you can't do anything about it. You can't not do anything about it, You can still take charge of your health and do so many things to make you a healthy person. It's ridiculous. People are like, well, what do I eat? How many fucking vegetables can you... There's so many vegetables if you're a vegetarian. Everyone's always like, what do you eat, Sky? It's like a bunch of there's more vegetables and plant products, plant proteins and all that jazz than meat, I feel like. So actually I have a lot more to eat. Anyways, it's just something I've always been so passionate about. And it just appalls me when people aren't educated. It's like, why? your body is the only thing keeping you alive. Why not give it everything that it needs and not poison it? Sometimes I poison my body, but I'm aware when I'm poisoning it. My poison I consider a bagel and cream cheese. That is not even a treat because it's not healthy, but I'm aware that this isn't a staple food. I don't eat cereal and milk every day for breakfast. That's just like a waste. That is just not fueling. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, I don't even eat it as a treat because it just doesn't, like, honestly, I'd rather a smoothie. Oh, smoothie for breakfast, smoothie for dessert, smoothies all the time. Like, smoothies are so good and they're healthy. Oh, anyways, that could be a whole nother thing. People have always asked me what I eat in a day. Also, no offense, but like, I'm fit. I'm not super fit right now, but I'm pretty fit. And I'm healthy and I'm happy. And I have quality cells. Not to say about me, but it's like, I don't understand why some people are so in denial of what I have to say sometimes. Because it's like, well, no offense, you guys, but kind of who's the healthier one in the room right now? Like, this is ridiculous. You know, same for business. I don't talk to someone who's way more successful in business to me and be like, I don't know, you're not right. It's like, well, they obviously fucking know more because they're more successful in it. Like, my health, I do master my health. Like, I am great with my health. That's one thing that I've not always been good at, but for the past 10 years, always been pretty great at making a priority. I mean, I've always been pretty healthy, but except for when I was really young, I used to hide the candy and the chocolate in my room because my mom wouldn't let me have any. But now I'm so grateful that she didn't, because I'm aware of the fact that it's not healthy, and it's just like something to be not to be proud of, you know, if you eat a bunch of shit food. Anyways, point 2 here. Thanks for listening to that little rant. I just get quite passionate about it when our bodies are the only thing keeping us alive. Why not make it the best possible body? Like, when you're moving well, oh, I'm just imagining when my body feels so good. And it's so much fun just running and going to work and being so empowered and energized and fit and strong and happy and confident. Ugh, it's the best feeling ever. Okay. Speaking about health, it's funny that this happened. Whoa. So Wednesday, oh my God, it's Monday already. That's crazy. Wednesday. Clearly didn't eat that well that day. I had a bagel and cream cheese. It was a little sandwich. It was a sandwich at the place near my office. It was really yummy, but it was not healthy. I mean, it's not unhealthy. Like, it's quite a healthy option for a sandwich, but you know, my terms of health, it wasn't like a kale salad. So then I went for a walk to get a smoothie from Body Energy because it was just a little thing and I hadn't eaten yet and whatever. And then I get back and my eye feels itchy. And I ask my coworker and I say, is there a bump under my eye? My right eye? And she says, no. I thought, okay. And then it kept bothering me and I thought, well, I wore makeup today. I wore mascara. I don't usually wear mascara because Tasha was coming home that day. It was such an exciting day. Tasha was coming home from Australia and I missed her so much. I hadn't seen her in 6 months. That's literally the longest I haven't seen her in my entire life. And then I kept feeling my eye getting really irritated. I thought, okay, this doesn't feel right, and it kind of feels like anaphylaxis, how it usually starts. It always starts under my right eye. So I go to the bathroom, and I'm like, oh shit, there's a bump, and it's starting on the left eye too. And I'm thinking it'll just go away. So I went and bought some Claritin. Now I really try to avoid any and all drugs of that sort, to just, if I don't need to take it, I won't. But when it comes to anaphylaxis, I'm grateful for the medical system and healthcare system because I do not know how to treat that on my own. And I mean, you could wait it off, but it's scary. And that's really the only time I get scared. feel like life or death scared, because that's really what it is. And it's amazing how I can be so focused on work, and just my mind is, I'm just always thinking about work, you guys. There's always so much to do, and I love everything that I do, and I just juggle a lot. I'm just always thinking. But when there's a life or death situation, it's amazing. Like, it fascinates me how instantly all of those thoughts just go away. Like, it's not like, oh my God, what am, oh, I gotta teach this person this, I gotta, on whatever, all these things. It's just, holy shit, am I gonna die? Like, I know I'm not, but I was actually more concerned about not being able to make it to the airport, because I was so excited. But then I also thought, okay, maybe it's me going into healing. If you've heard of German New Medicine, that makes total sense. I hadn't seen Tasha in 6 months, so there's obviously a huge emotional attachment to this happening, like to this day. But I don't know, it's never happened like that. So I'm still asking myself, what is it telling me? Most often it's just to relax, I feel like. So what I've developed, which I believe that I can get rid of, but apparently not yet, is what's called exercise-induced anaphylaxis. It's anaphylaxis, so you know what people get when they're allergic to peanuts, if they have a peanut, or some people fish, whatever it might be, they go into anaphylactic shock, and lots of things can happen, but your face swells up, your throat can close, the oxygen doesn't go to your brain. It's there's a couple minutes really if your throat starts to close for you to die, and it's scary. And then also when it's happening to you, you're pretty delusional, so you're not thinking straight, because you're just not. Your eyes are literally closed. Well, it depends. Say for someone else who's allergic to peanuts, their face might not swell and it might just be their throat. So it depends on the person or whatever the allergy is. So what I developed in maybe grade 10 and 11, severely in grade 11, or maybe it was grade 12 by that time. I think grade 12. But it first started, I realized when I figured out what happened, the first time it happened, I think was almost in grade 10. But it's progressive, right? So each time it happens, it gets worse. It goes faster and it gets worse. So the first time was in grade 10. So it was like 16. And it was just this little bump under my eye. And it was before an exam. I think I had an exam the next day. So I thought, okay, well, maybe I'm just stressed. And I guess it's probably to do with a little bit of stress. Had I worked out? Yeah, perhaps I did. I'm trying to think back at all the times, because then it happened in Mexico. And then it happened in India. This was all in grade 12. It happened a lot in grade 12. And it happened on a soccer field. And it happened in the gym. And it happened, I guess it happened a lot. It's been a while, so I forgot about it. It happened in the park. I ran in the forest. So everything was different. The time of day, the environment, the food, my thoughts, everything was different. Except for the fact that I was working out. So then we discovered I had exercise-induced anaphylaxis. So I thought I was allergic to Advil for about a year before it happened again. So maybe I didn't eat that morning. I'm trying to think. There was one morning I was running around White Cliff. And this is the first time it happened really bad. It was in grade 12. My eyes, you guys, were closed. Like, I'll have to find a photo to attach to this, because my eyes were just puffed up, closed. And I called my parents, and they were out for lunch. And I said, "What are you guys doing?" They said, "Oh, we're out for lunch." And I said, "Okay, bye." They were like, "Okay, bye." And then I called my brother. I was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I think he was playing a video game. And I was like, "Okay." And then I called my sister. and was like, hey, what are you doing? And I think she was just at home, or she was with maybe Alexa or one of her good friends. And I said, well, I don't even remember if I told her I was having an allergic reaction or I just told her something wasn't right. And then I sent her a photo and she was like, holy shit, I will be there in 5 minutes. So then she comes and picks me up. I remember being on the trail and oh my God, I was just kind of trying to hide because I did not look okay and I was scaring people. My face was just ridiculous. And I remember one person saying, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, just an allergic reaction or something. And they were just like, holy shit. So I sent my sister a photo. She came right away. And I said, I think I just need to go home and sleep it off. And she's like, no, we're taking you to the hospital right now. Like, you do not look okay. So I go to the hospital, thank God, because if the swelling keeps going, it goes to your throat and boom, shakalaka, you're dead. And at the time, and then it happened another time at a soccer game, which was right after lunch. So that's kind of what made me think, it was right after lunch. First I thought, well, maybe I was fighting with my boyfriend at the time, and because I remember being in the hospital and my heartbeat was racing, and the doctors came over and were like, are you okay? What's going on? And my parents had been watching me and everything was fine. And then the nurse said, well, what are you doing on your phone? Because that's the only thing that's different. And I was like, I'm kind of fighting with my boyfriend. So then I thought, well, maybe that emotional kind of stress influences it. But then there's been other times that hasn't been a factor. So what we discovered was the only factor that's been the same was the fact that I had eaten basically too soon and worked out. I saw so many allergists, so many specialists trying to figure out what is going on. One, I also think it's the universe's way of getting me to slow down, because often I have to choose if I want to eat or if I want to work out, which sucks for me, but it teaches me to just slow down a bit and, one, enjoy my food, and two, not work out all the time, because otherwise, like, really working, I just love exercise so much, you guys. I do it all day, every day, but eventually I have to eat, which then means I have to wait at least 3 hours before I can do more exercise. Otherwise, I feel like I'd be running all the time. So anyways, what happened on Wednesday is I went for this walk and I came back. It's never happened when I've been walking. But it did. So I don't know what it means. I'm still figuring that out. Maybe I was walking too fast. I was pretty hyped. It was a really exciting day. And there's a lot of work to do. So usually I don't leave for lunch. I usually don't take lunch, but I needed more food. So I walked to get a smoothie. Didn't even get to eat my smoothie or drink my smoothie. I consider smoothies like a meal, honestly, so that's why I say eat. But anyways, how I reflect on things like this, it's not just, yes, my initial thought is, why me? Why today? What is it teaching me? Like, this sucks. This is so sad. I really wanted to go to the airport. Like, I haven't seen my sister. There's so much work to do, and I love what I'm doing, and I just want to be there. But here I am at the hospital. I had to consciously decide, why not me? So luckily I had been listening to this book. It's called The Traveler's Gift. So good. You gotta listen to it. Read it. It's phenomenal. But basically this man gets into a car accident and the last thing he says is, why me? And then he wakes up in a dream, basically, but in a coma, and the other man there is like, well, why not you? Why not you? So that's what I consider when I have things happen to me. I understand the fact that they're not happening to me, they're happening for me. It's a gift. Everything is a gift, and you just have to learn to work with it. Even if I get sick, I rarely do, but if I do, it's not like, I got sick It's, oh, I haven't been taking care of my body, so my immune system is low. So my body is forcing me to take a rest because I'm not giving it a rest on my own. Everything is my responsibility. Yes, this is an allergy, and I don't know why it's occurring at these dates and times and when I'm walking. I don't know, but it's just a journey for me to figure out. It's something for me to dive into. And I ask myself, when I was in the hospital, it's like, well, okay, what am I supposed to learn from this? And usually it's just to chill more. I have a really hard time just chilling. I went to a float tank today, 2 hours ago, and I swear I did not stop thinking about work. And it was great because I had all these great ideas and there was just so many fun things to do. And I kept saying, Sky, give yourself this hour to just relax so that you can be your optimal self tomorrow. But it's hard to stop thinking about work when you live your job. Your lifestyle is just work. But it's... So, anyways, my point is, that's why I think these things happen to me, because it just shook me right out of work and thought, relax, literally lay down, put your feet up, just take a breath, make some time to chill, which I'm doing next week. It's going to be great, but I'm still going to be working. But anyways, that's not the point. Oh, okay. The other one was, so just to wrap that up, things don't happen to you, they happen for you. How can you ask yourself from any situation in life, what did I learn from this? And the number one question whenever I think about Alexandre, my cousin who passed, I shared a previous podcast about this, is what did I learn from this? I used to dive into my journals crying, being like, what did I learn from this? This fucking sucks. But it's, what did I learn? Well, I learned just how precious life is. And how fragile and how quickly it can go. So to make the most of every single day. And that's what I'm reminded of when I have these anaphylactic episodes, is it shakes me out of my work mind of just going, doing, and being like, hold on, let's take a breath and just remember the fact how precious and beautiful every freaking day is that you are on this earth. Even if you're not, your spirit, whatever it is, it's a beautiful place to be. So ask yourself, what did you learn from this? Quickly mention, I'm going to dive into this another time about habits when traveling, but just a brief one here. I've been shifting. I really love physical journals, but I've been shifting over. I bought an iPad before my trip in the fall, just so I didn't have to bring my computer. And this iPad is phenomenal. I use it as my journal now. I use it for all my notebooks, my different notebooks for work, topics, education, and then my planner is on there. So I have a digital planner now. Never thought I would go digital, but it's just less things for me to travel with. Because when I left, I packed very minimal, so I tried to get rid of the majority of books. So I didn't bring all my journals. I have a lot of journals, one for like monthly reflection and an annual reflection, and then a daily reflection, and then a daily highlight. Gotta do that. Anyway, so I'm kind of putting all of this into my iPad, a digital planner, if you say. Not that you should go buy an iPad, because I do love the fact of not being digital, but if you are planning to travel often, getting super organized digitally is really a benefit, because you might not have your, planner with you if you pop over to Italy and you're at the beach or whatever. Like, I guess my mind never stops working, so I kind of need those things accessible to me, because I got a lot of ideas or just things that I need to plan, so I'll sort of do it then and there. Any fitness routine, an on-the-go fitness routine that isn't super intense, but is just a few staples. So 10 push-ups a day, 10 sit-ups, 10 squats. Even if you don't do all that, just 10 push-ups. Just pick one thing that you will do, say, for a month straight. I've been doing these 10 push-ups, and I find I haven't really had a ton of weightlifting sessions. It's when I just switched gyms, and I've been working a lot. Not that that's an excuse, never should be, but my point is, I'm still feeling really fit, and my shoulders are great. And I think it's just because I've been doing 10 push-ups a day. So what is that? That's like 300 push-ups. And then usually I do more, but I have a baseline of just get on the floor and do 10 push-ups. Sometimes I'm more tired and I'll do them on my knees. Other times do it on one foot. My feet will be in the air. I don't know. I'll do a whole bunch of things. So having a few staples that will at least get you to move. And then when you're there, you think, okay, well, I'm here. Let's do some squats. Let's do some sit-ups. Let's do some lunges, whatever. Let's just do a little something. So having just at least that one sort of trigger to get you to train. Training trigger. And my water bottle, I take that everywhere. I'll draft a few more points for you. I'm getting a little tired now. It's 10:30, way past my bedtime. Anyways, stay tuned. Love you so much. Have fun. Be healthy. Take care of yourself. Take care of others. Do what fuels you. Had a Tony Robbins thing all weekend, so I'm feeling motivated. Someone today at work was like, wow, you're really animated. And I said, well, this morning I was exhausted because I'm waking up at 5 a.m. all weekend and going for 15-20 hours. But the time traveler's gift, one of them was I choose to be happy every day. So I was getting a coffee / a tea, and I looked in the mirror and I said, I choose to be happy. I'm always happy, but I was tired. So if you have less energy, you're not as enthusiastic. And then I just jumped up and down a little bit and was like, wow, I'm stoked for the day now. Woohoo! So life hack for you, fake it till you make it, because you just fake smile for a second if you're not full of energy, and then you become full of energy. So then it's not really faking it, you're just triggering it. That's more accurate. You're triggering the energy. Bring the action. Okay, good night, guys. Love you so much. Thanks for listening.